and you could tell how inspired they were when we came, because it just was a normal school day, you know. And when I was rapping, and I remember for like about 2 or 3 seconds, like almost like an out of body experience. And it was like one of those things, like how sometimes you go so hard saying like, man, when is my time gonna come? When is my time gonna come? And for 3 seconds, it's like I got a chance to, I looked into some kids' eyes, and I like was looking down on myself, and it was like what I heard in my heart was, it's happening now. It's happening now. Everything you've been wanting, it's happening now. It's happening now. And I was like, wow. And I mean, I had my shades on. I was almost like crying then, you know. And I had to just keep going through. So yeah.
Man. I'm Andre, and this is the Speak Your Life podcast, where we talk about everything as it relates to education, careers, values, mentors, and anything to do with purpose. We do this one impactful conversation at a time, whether a solo dolo with yours truly or our amazing guests to share stories, industry insights, encouraging words, and calls to action that can help you get closer to your why. Become a part of the Speak Your Life community by subscribing today to the podcast and following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Speak Your LYFE, because life without your why is meaningless. And today's special guest is from Houston, H-Town, graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a Mass Comm degree. He was a school teacher at one point and has now transitioned to become an inspirational speaker, ambassador for Metro World, a faith-based children's humanitarian group, and a father of an amazing child, and now is a Christian hip-hop artist signed with Game Changers Entertainment. Please welcome Justin Wilburn, a.k.a. I Am Justified.
Man, appreciate it, man. Love the intro, man. Yep, and just Justin Wilburn, like million. Yep. So I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be on the show. Looking forward to it. Good icebreaker. For real.
So, yeah, man. Welcome to the show. How you doing? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really good. I'm excited to be here and just excited to connect with you guys and just do what we do, man. Right here on Speak Your Life, you know.
That's right.
When you told me you was coming straight from Atlanta, it was really inspiring, man. Like just being that I went to college out there and connected with people in ATL. I stayed in Atlanta for like, I want to say maybe like 5 years or so. So it was a great time out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, give us like a 5-minute life story from like, you know, from when you were a child and like everything through until now.
Yeah, man. Growing up, I grew up, my grandparents raised me, so you can tell through my music, it's always gonna be a lot of an influence from my grandma, my grandfather, because they raised me all the way until I would say in the 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
You know, and so grew up on a ranch, so I had horses, cows, chickens. For chickens. Well, actually, we did not have any chickens. Really? We had pigs, cows, rabbits. One of my birthday gifts was a pig. That's how country. That's how much of a country boy I was, man.
Free bacon.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Straight up. And so I ended up. Yeah, that's another story. But and then just growing up there, and then eventually moving back with my mom here in Houston. And went to high school at Klein Forest. High school, graduated.
Cool.
After graduating high school, decided I wanted to, you know, pursue something more than what I seen in my neighborhood, in my areas I grew up in. Decided to go to college. And so I went to a college called Prairie View, which is out here first. And after going to Prairie View, I was like, man, you know, it was cool, but I still wanted to get further away. And I had a best friend, and he was telling me, man, come to Atlanta, man. It's alive. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like Atlanta. I'm like, man, ATL, what is it like? You know?
He was right.
And he was right. And so, man, I took that leap of faith on his word and got approved and got accepted into the college. Went into Atlanta. And, you know, did my college visit. I loved it. And moved there. And once I went to college in Atlanta, I got a chance to study abroad.
Nice.
Lived in Spain and moved to New York. Came back, started teaching, went through a dark season in my life of depression, and then started music. And now I'm doing music full time and, you know, taking care of myself, my family, my son, and just pushing towards my dreams.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about the whole study abroad thing. Yeah, you went to Spain. How was that?
Man, Spain was dope, man. It was an amazing experience. I think the thing that really hit it the most for me was being able to be in another place, a whole different culture than what I currently always see. You know what I'm saying? And then being able to just take off all of the things I was taught, you know, from home, to just accepting and or at least being open to another way of life. You know, from siestas. I mean, I'm talking about they go to sleep from 3 to 6. The whole city shuts down.
Wow.
I mean, buses stop going. Teachers stopped teaching. Dang. Businesses closed down. Everybody got a rest, and they rest from that time. And of course, they stay up late at night, and then they party hard, and they go back fiesta. in. Siesta. So I loved it. I had a great time. I learned some Spanish there, so I speak Spanish as well, and it just gave me a chance to really just, I guess, you know, see something different than what I grew up doing and seeing. So
that's what's up. Yeah, you know, I connected in that because, like, you know, I was a communication major in college as well.
Okay, dope.
You know, at Harvard University, and then studied abroad in London. So you know, everybody spoke English there. You know, it sounded like a different language. By the way, you know, everybody says like different words and terminology. You have to like, so wait, say that again. Like,
bring it back. Yeah, for real.
But it was a good experience, and I love to travel, you know, obviously as a flight attendant. And so whenever people said, you know, I studied abroad, I always love to hear their story, like where they studied abroad, like how was it? Because it's so much to life and so much to learning when you travel.
Yeah, I think it opens your mind to just how big the world is, and how sometimes, you know, a person can grow up thinking like their way is just the right way. But when I had the opportunity to see the whole world, I got to realize like just how big, you know, when I got to see Spain, it gave me a view of like seeing another part of the world that made me realize, you know, it's not just about my world and how I grew up, you know, that you know, it's just a really big world out there. So it was dope. It was really dope.
That's what's up. And man, and so how did you end up coming with the name I Am Justified? Tell us about that.
You know, that definitely, I can't take any credit for that name, man. That all came from God, man, because after going through this season of depression, I went through depression for 4 years, you know, contemplated suicide. It was a really dark season. If I can explain, you know, how it looked, it was dark. If I can explain how it felt, it hurt. If I can explain what it smelled like, it stinked. If I can explain just, you know, what I wouldn't want to go back to, would be that moment, those moments, that time in my life, you know. But it definitely shaped me to who I am today. If I never would have went through the depression, I never would have became I Am Justified. I never would have been doing music. So God, in the beginning, you know, I was known as Just in Time, because I went to school for TV and film. So you can see here, like I was interviewing Stevie Wonder and Russell Simmons and just a lot of celebrities. And that was my thing. I wanted to be a host. I wanted to be like the Black Ryan Seacrest. That was my goal. And then, like, you know, so I was pursuing it wholeheartedly. Moved to New York, worked for MTV, did all of that. And then after going through that season, you know, being called Just in Time, Justice, my depression was so self-inflicted. It was so much not what people said to me or what someone did to me. It was what I was doing to myself. Really? It was so built on, you know, speaking down to myself, the negative talk to myself, and it ended up just kind of leading me into a spiral where I ended up just going down. And God just began to come in my heart through a friend. He came and just told me how much God loved me, and I was like, man, there's no way God can love me. You know what kind of stuff I've been doing? You know my past. There's no way God can love me. Like, nah, man, God loves you. And it was just a seed. I didn't really believe it then, but it was a seed that eventually started growing. And God began to change my perspective, and somehow I just heard the name like in my heart, like, I am justified. You know, when I was reading the word one day and I seen it again, it was like confirmation, like, oh, wow, this is what justified means. And then I thought about my name being Justin. I'm like, wow, justified. And he was like, no, I am justified. So that way is God justified you. You know, because when Moses said, where are you, you know, who do I tell him that sent me? Who do I tell him that sent me? He said, tell him the great I am has sent you. So it's I am justified. So it's God has justified.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So, man, so were you always into music or like, you know?
Oh yeah, man. When I was young, it was funny. You know, we were talking earlier about the 10,000 hours.
The
rule, you know. And when I was young, I always was some way, form, or fashion an entertainer. You know, whether it was me working the camera. My grandmother, when I was little, she brought me a little video camera.
Oh, yeah.
So I was walking around shooting home videos and editing them then, you know.
VCRs,
on the VCRs.
Oh,
come on, man. Come on. We got it from Sears. This was Sears. When everybody used to go to Sears, man, we got it from Sears. And, you know, she got me that first. And so, you know, and then when we would have, like, family gatherings, I would always be the one dancing in the middle of everybody. And, you know, just enjoying it. So I always kind of been into that entertainment, but I never knew that it would be rapping per se. Like when I seen rap, I never really dedicated myself to it. Like I thought about it, I thought it was cool, but I never really dedicated myself to the writing part. That was the part I just did not like the most, you know, the writing part, the creating part. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I just, you know, stuck in and found it. So yeah.
Good. And so like when you were growing up, were you in like any choirs, anything like that, or just like?
So when you know, wasn't in a band, wasn't in choir. I was always into more like acting. Yeah. Like theater, acting. That's kind of where my arts part would be. Not even drawing, you know, a little bit, but more acting and theater. Okay. Live plays. When I went to Prairie View, I ended up getting a scholarship for theater over there. So wow. And so just transitioning from that, and so do you say, like, were there some people that inspired you growing up, like as rappers, like who were your inspirations? Man, at that time I would say, you know, I definitely was big into Nelly. This when Nelly was tearing the game up. I was big into Nelly. I was big into man, it was some guys. They had a song like "I Got 5 on It." What's the name? Do or Die. Do or Die. They was like, man, they was big. They was big in my playlist. And then of course, you know, Tupac. You know, but I didn't really start getting into Tupac until like much later, you know what I mean? But and then once I got to ATL, you know, right around that time, T.I. was like, that was the guy I was listening to all the time. Popping. What T.I. was, man, what that was like, that's where I would jam all the time. And I always had a love for R&B too, like Usher. You know, I used to get, when I was in high school, because I was a part of the step team and I used to dance a lot, they used to always be like, "Oh, you look like Usher." They said, and I didn't like it because that wasn't hard enough. That wasn't rough. That wasn't tough. That wasn't hard. So they were like, "Oh,
and you were light skinned."
Yeah, and I was light skinned. It was not the cool thing. So I did not like it. But fast forward, now I can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Like that was cool. It was. I should have took it as a compliment because I definitely love R&B, and so people like Usher at that time definitely was inspiring me, man. Big time, without a doubt.
That's what's up, man. And so, you know, just with this whole, you know, industry that you're in, when it comes to Christian rap, specifically Christian hip hop, in your opinion, how has that evolved over the years? Because I know, like, to be honest, like me growing up listening, you know, to T.I. and stuff like that in transition, I listen to super corny I'm like, this is trash. Like, look, man, I ain't gonna listen to this no Christian rap because it's just I need something else. Like, I need something that's like really, you know, high quality, but also good content too
and real.
Real. So, how do you think it's evolved?
I think Christian hip hop has evolved greatly. I mean, now look at people like Kanye West, you know, coming over and doing what he's doing. I think that it just shows the manifestation of how powerful it is shifting the culture of music, you know. And I think, you know, when we say Christian, it's more just to let people know, like, it's positive, it's clean, it's centered in something of hope. It has a why. It has a why, you know. And a lot of time with hip hop, you know, our why is really just, I'm just telling you my story. You know, and you know, now granted, some people get inspired from the good, the bad, the ugly from our story, but it really just telling their story. But I think with Christian hip hop, it brings that hope. It gives hope that hip hop, you know, just hip hop by itself just can't do. So I think that's why for me, I don't just run away from that title at all. Or if somebody says you're a hip hop artist, cool. If they say you're a music artist, cool. If you say you're just an artist, cool. But I always said this after I left Honduras, that whatever they call me, just put international in front of it. Yeah. So now, since I performed in Honduras, international Christian hip hop artist, international music artist, whatever it is, international. But
that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. I saw that you were in Honduras for some time. It was like what, 2 months ago or something?
Yeah, like that was about what'd you say? I think Jay about like 2 months. Yeah, probably about 2 months ago. Man, that was awesome. That was my first time performing international. Yeah. And I got a chance to rap in a lot of schools. And I mean, they let you go in there and just do you. I'm talking about just like go all the way in. And the kids, to say that it was my music is in English. I got some songs in Spanish now too, so that helped a lot. But they was vibing with it, connecting with it, you know, jumping around, you know, follow me on social media. I'm still getting comment from them now, you know, just from the inspiration that I was able to get in Honduras. And something that stood out to me in Honduras the most was at one school, it was like a yellow school. It was painted all yellow, and it was a lot of kids dressed in these cool little uniforms, you know, and you could tell how inspired they were when we came, because it just was a normal school day, you know. And when I was rapping, and I remember for like about 2 or 3 seconds, like almost like an out of body experience. And it was like one of those things, like how sometimes you go so hard saying like, man, when is my time gonna come? When is my time gonna come? And for 3 seconds, it's like I got a chance to, I looked into some kids' eyes, and I like was looking down on myself, and it was like what I heard in my heart was, it's happening now. It's happening now. Everything you've been wanting, it's happening now. It's happening now. And I was like, wow. And I mean, I had my shades on. I was almost like crying then, you know. And I had to just keep going through. So
man, it sounds like you need to write in your journal or a book or something.
Oh yeah. I definitely. That's coming, man. That's coming for sure.
That's cool. And
this is the first interview I've told anybody that one too. So,
wow. I feel honored. Man, I remember because I went to Honduras, like it was like 2015, and I was there on a mission trip with some friends from Harding University. And it was like during the summertime, but it was a good experience. We were helping out. It was like a special needs adults school, and just doing a bunch of stuff like painting and cleaning and different things like that. And it was a really good time, very humbling experience. Every single time that I have a complaint and I'm coming down to Honduras or anywhere that is like, there's where somebody is less fortunate. You start to put things in perspective, and you're just like, that complaint that I had coming here, like it's no longer, it dissolved because it no longer exists, because now that I'm here, I'm doing this work, I'm not even thinking about my problems. I'm just sitting here, just trying to serve the people in front of me, just trying to look them in the eye and just tell them about Christ, or just share with them, I hope you're having a good day, give them a smile, give them a laugh, all that stuff. And so like places like that are like just so I would say magical, because they make you, they change you. It's like, when I'm going on vacation, I don't feel as changed. I'm going to like, I don't know, like Florida or something like that. I might change or get a little tan physically, but like not emotionally, not spiritually. I don't feel that change like I do when I go to like places like Honduras.
We got a chance to go into one of the roughest areas out there. It was the city name was called La Ceiba, but we went to a little area, kind of like in a little pueblo, not far from La Ceiba, and man, I'm telling you, their houses were, basically just tins put together. Maybe, little fences wrapped around it, tins put together. And, to see those kids, to see those families, how loving and giving they still were. And the way they were living, and how they still had their joy. It really inspired me to be like, man, what are you worried about? Like everything is fine. We're blessed, and I think opportunities like that, experience like that, it sticks with you in your heart for a long time. I got a chance to connect with a kid by the name of Joseph, and his mom is a pastor. But he just drew to me like quick, like right when I met him, you know. And then he just was following me around, and we ended up kind of building a bond from the day one I got there all the way to when I left. Literally, his mom and Joseph went all the way to the airport with me, and you know, and just saw me there, and I got a chance to really connect with him, and they still keep in touch now, you know. And so those type of moments are so important, you know, like even in the midst of reaching hundreds of kids is great, you know, but I realize how it's that one kid that really got inspired, you know what I mean, just by whatever it was that he saw, you know. And I'm just hoping that it leads him to know his why.
Sure. So that's good, you know, because I remember, you know, seeing that Instagram story, and you know, that you guys you call him your little brother and stuff like that. So y'all, like, you can tell that you guys had a bond, and you could tell that something was special between y'all two. I
felt really sad. Like, I was really sad leaving them. Like, it was like, dang, we connected so tight. Like, it was like I really was sad, you know, like, and so I know for sure I'm going back. So it was cool, but
maybe by the time the more you go, you'll brush up your Spanish. So,
exactly, without a doubt.
That's good. And so, like, you know, when you go back, or whenever you know, do more events and more shows, like, do you have any people that you thought about who you want to collaborate with, you know,
out there?
Or just anywhere in the world. It could be from here, from, you know, from somewhere else. I don't know.
Man, I have a song I did with someone. He's from Colombia. His name is Herodero Mextizio, and so we got a song. It's called "I Got the Juice." It's Guy Flow. It's on my Spotify and all my streaming sites. That's a plug. But definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. But he's doing his verse in Spanish and mine is in English, and we just need to shoot the visual for it. But I would say something with him. It's somebody else who I was looking up. I can't think of his name off the top, but I just kind of got onto him. He's really good. He's another Latin artist out there, and he has a really nice following as well. I think it's Remedy or something like that. I'm gonna have to look him up, but he's really dope. But I'm definitely thinking like some artists international. I think would be cool.
That's what's up. What's up. Because there's, like, you know, there's so many people out there that, you know, whenever, I think it's really cool to see two great artists come together and do some special things together, because, you know, whether you're in music, whether you're fashion, whatever like that, like, I think, you know. And
I love fashion, by the way.
I can tell you're pretty fresh today.
So 2020 is gonna be. I was wearing mostly black. 2019. 2020. I'm starting it off right. I'm coming ice white. My events, stuff I'm doing, I gotta be in ice white. I'm finna start wearing more white. So I'm bringing out my white. I'm looking in my closet. I had a lot of black, and I'm like, you know what? 2020, I'm changing it up. I love how black look on me, but I'm about to switch it up. I'm getting in my white.
Is there a significance to that, or just?
I think it's really no. I just noticed it in my closet how many black shirts I had, and I was just like, you know what? 2020, I'm finna switch it up. So
no love for the greens, the reds, blues.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna still do the other colors like that, but I'm definitely about to replace some of my black for sure.
That's okay.
But I do love collaborating, man, with just other artists, you know. And for me, I don't have to just collaborate with just Christian artists. I will collaborate with anybody I'm inspired by, you know, that really moves me as far as like I'm really rocking with their stuff and rocking with their music. Heck But lately, I've been really noticing I collaborate with a lot of guys that do R&B. I think it's because it's that part of me,
that Usher spirit,
that, you know, I want it bad, you got it bad, and, you know, you got it bad spirit. But man, I think it's that. So I'm really looking to continue collaborating as much as I can. I definitely want to do more collaborations though. 2020, it's really good for you as an artist, and I think that's one of the areas that I gotta grow in, is doing more collaborations. Because I work, I can be such a like. In my zone, tunnel vision that I sometimes don't collaborate.
Man, I understand on that part, because, you know, with America, you know, we're such a individualistic culture. So no matter what industry, it's, you know, you hear the term self-made all the time. But I actually have a podcast interview. Oh, not an interview, but just an episode that I'm gonna have later on where I talk about like just dispelling that concept, because there's no such thing as self-made. Because everybody, no matter who you are, whether you're Drake, Jay-Z, whoever, like you got there because you had somebody else helping you along the way.
Without a doubt.
Yes, you put in the work. Yes, you put in the time. But you also had people that were a part of your in your corner. They're part of your circle. And so you gotta be thankful for people like that. You gotta be you can't forget about the people, your family can't forget about the people who helped you to get where you are. And so,
without a doubt. It's so important. I think that that's something that people can really forget about, and it talks about in the Bible, man, like, with many advisors, basically, and let me kind of paraphrase it, success is guaranteed when you have many advisors. So when you got people around you in your corner, you pretty much are setting yourself on a pathway to success. So I think it's always good to have a team of people that rock with you and that really support you and can see your vision and speaking to your vision. And I mean, it just I think it elevates them as well as you know, because it helps them move in their purpose. You get to move in your purpose, and then y'all begin to start thinking bigger, seeing bigger. Just imagine somebody like Drake starting off where him and 40 was started from the bottom in their mom's basement, and then now they got a manager and a couple other people, and then starting to see how they're growing, and they can even pretty much catch each other pitfalls because of the fact they seen so much from the bottom coming back up, and they started together. I think it's genius. I think it's a great way to really show just the hand of God, how he can take you from nothing to something with the faith and the growth and the determination,
they always, say that you always have to have somebody who's a step ahead of you, somebody who's right there with you, somebody who's right behind you. And so, because whenever you have somebody, I was talking to Jordan actually about this earlier in the car, and just about how, like, if there's somewhere you want to go, and you see somebody that, that's an inspirational person to you, and they've reached a part of their career that's just, like, really, like, awesome. You want to, try to be surrounded by people like that, because, they're at least, a little bit ahead of you, so that you can learn something from them, because they're like where you want to be.
That's good, and sometimes we can take that look a different approach, right? A person can be like, and they can kind of like feel like, oh man, I'm not doing enough, or oh man, that should be me doing that, But really, I feel like when God allows us to see people doing those great things, it's really a way to inspire us. It's not to make us feel any other way. It's to inspire us anytime, because the Bible even says it, like he's the one that raises up people and takes kings down. So it's a beacon of inspiration, no matter what. For whatever reason, it's a reason of, I believe, just to inspire us to reach towards that next level, you know what I mean, and bring what we feel they may have been missing to it, you know what I'm saying?
So, I agree. I definitely agree. You got to have the people who are a little bit ahead of you, so that you can get to where you want to be. You got to see where, if they are where you want to be, because we have a lot of people, that want to give us advice from here and there, that whether they be, friends or family with good intentions,
but they're not even
living the life that I want to, I want to live. Right. I still love you, but it's like the rich Dad Poor Dad, I don't know if you ever read that book. He loved his dad so much, but it's just like,
with Robert Greene, right?
You're not doing what I want to do. So that's why he had a friend. He always wrote and got advice from his friend's dad who was rich. So he had his poor dad who was his biological, and he had his rich dad.
So, I love that book. I read the audio book for that. I loved it. It was powerful, man.
Robert Kiyosaki. Man.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Great
It was Robert something. I was thinking Robert Greene because I was thinking Money Rich. But
Robert Greene. That's another good author.
48 Laws of Power. That's where that was. Okay. But for me, I'm the same way. Like, I'm only gonna receive advice from people that I really have respect for their feedback or their whether it be criticism, whether it be accomplishments, whatever. I have to really respect, where they are and see, what they have or their expertise, or see something in them or where they can be. Then I'm gonna receive it. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm not really hearing it, you know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, people can limit you because they have, it can be so small-minded in what they want to do and where they are, where they see themselves, that they'll make it seem like you're doing something wrong because you want to grow and excel, and you've reached it to a place where you're like, okay, it's like a ceiling. I got to keep growing, you know?
Oh, you change.
You
always hear that all the time. You forget where you came from. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I'm just not looking back.
Yeah, I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back. And I think at the end of that, we all are changing daily.
Exactly.
Every day we change. I'm not the same person I was in high school. I'm not the same person I was in college. Every day we're changing. Every day parts of us are changing. As a matter of fact, every 7 years you're gonna go through a major change in your life biologically than what you were before. And so I mean, that's just human nature, who we are, is to change and evolve and hopefully grow. Because that's what also keeps us from being in that sunken place is growth. Growth, even if it's small growth, but growth is so important for our own peace and sanity. It's growth. You gotta have growth. Man, you gotta have growth. Even if it's man, I was doing 5 push-ups, now I'm doing 10. Okay, it gotta be growth. Because if it ain't growth, like, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, so yeah, you
had a song. If you're not increasing, you're
decreasing. Steady increasing. You gotta be growing.
I was bumping to that earlier.
Steady increasing. You know, that song came from such a real place. Like, that song opened up doors to where I opened up for 50 Cent. Got interviewed on 97.9. Got an opportunity to perform with just many different artists. You know, connected with Zero, Powwow, you know, Mike Prince, Rap A Lot, the same people that managed Drake, you know, from that song, that one song.
Dang,
you know?
That's crazy.
And so that was also like in a season where, you know, I had this song, Steady Increasing, that was a banging song. But I kind of feel like it wasn't the church, but it was Christian rappers kind of made me feel like, oh man, that song, you know, or man, you switching up. You're not saying Jesus enough. You're not rapping about God enough. You know, and so what it ended up doing is, sometimes if you listen to the mouse, the chatter of the people that are not where you are, you can limit yourself. And so I kind of like, well man, I don't want to feel like I'm selling God out. And so then I kind of pull back, and you know, those moments kind of kept going, you know what I'm saying? And so what I've learned from that experience is, man, just continue to trust that voice on the inside and not allow the chatters, you know, to bring you back to where you are. Because now, here it is, fast forward, the same people that was saying all of that, now they supporting Kanye West and anybody else that come with something. And I love it. I love Kanye. It had nothing to do with it, but I realize you can't listen to the voice of chatters like that. You know, and realizing that at the end of the day, what God gave me is different, and sometimes people may not understand. At the end of the day, this new season, when I've been dropping all these videos, Jordan can tell you, I've been dropping videos like crazy, doing music like crazy. I'm not doing it for people no more. I'm doing it for me. And then after doing it for me, then I'm doing it for God. Because at the end of the day, He gave me freedom. And in that freedom, I want to create. And in that creation, I want to be able to create because I'm happy doing what He created me to do. But then I want to be able to say, okay, God, I choose to give it back to you. It's not just like a good answer, like, oh, for you first. Nah, I'm making a choice to say, okay, this is for you, you know? And so I'm back to doing it for me and just creating, and then letting people tune into my world. Come into my world, you know, see what my world is like, and just vibe in my world. And I think that has been really great for me because I've been able to create a lot. I've been able to do a lot, and I've been more happy with my progress because it's not driven so much by how many views I get, how many likes I get, how many comments I'm gonna get. Oh man, I gotta wait till I have this perfect song and then promote it and then push it out. See, that was the way I was doing it before. And like, for example, you're like, man, no, that's a hit song, you know? I make hits all the time. Hair Down, Steady Increasing, Go Get It. I make hits, but sometimes people, they'll try to box you into that hit, and you listen to them thinking like, oh no, you got to keep pushing that hit. You got to keep pushing that song. Well, now I haven't dropped a song or a video in 8 months. That's not how artists should work. And so now I'm seeing that. Nah, okay, that's a hit. Boom, I'm finna follow with another hit. Okay, boom, I'm gonna keep it going. Keep it rolling. You like that song, they gonna go back, listen to that song, and then I'm gonna keep making songs so I can stay current with the time. Cause what happened is you can drop a hit song and then you still pushing that song, and your followers like, I heard it 5 months ago. I seen that 5 months ago. And you don't even want to share it because you know you just did it 5 months ago. So it's like you got to stay dropping fresh new stuff. So to artists out there, that's something I would say that I learned over, that took me probably 2 to 3 years to learn that. Man, just stay dropping music with visuals, content, and stay current with the time. Like right now, I think I have a great momentum going for myself with the Christmas holiday theme. You know, it's Christmas season. My music is about Christmas. I'm dropping Christmas albums. I mean EPs. I got videos that's Christmas. Everything is themed with this season of time. So I'm with the energy. So then come New Year's, guess what? I'm finna shift gears. We're gonna turn up because everybody pumped up. They got their goals wrote down. They know what they want to be here. 2020 vision and all that. Boom, I'm gonna be on it. You know, I'm gonna be with the vibe. And so that's what I'm learning for myself. So hopefully Jay keep me on that tip all the way throughout 2020, because I don't want to just start off on fire and then get to June and I'm like, oh, I'm off my A game and sizzle. You know, I want to stay flaming. You know what I'm saying? Or at least stay like, you know, going. You know.
No, I agree with that. I agree. You gotta keep the momentum going.
Keep that momentum. That's the key. Because
sometimes you can lose it, and I think sometimes you can get so caught up with like, oh man, that was a great, whatever song or episode or whatever, and then you forget about it. You get stagnant.
And you're trying to go back and create that moment, right? And one thing I can say I learned from that moment is, even in the midst of that moment, it was some great opportunities, some great time, but it was steered by hurt. And a little bit of pain too. So now when it comes back, like I got my next show this Saturday, it's back in it's in the club, you know. And now when I go on Saturday to this place, it's not coming stem from a place of like hurt or bitterness or man, they don't understand me or the prodigal son. It's gonna be coming from a place of just like, I'm just doing me. You know, I'm doing it for me. I'm following my heart and doing it for me. And I think now my creation of music is gonna be a lot different. The way I, present it is gonna be much different. And so that's what I'm on now.
That's what's up. Yeah. So man, because talking about that momentum, it's like like that's, I think, one of the reasons why people like the baby, they have that momentum. They keep on going because you have one hit, you got Surge, and you got Bob, and you just like keep on going and going, and that's why people are like gravitating towards that, because
it's
the
consistent,
consistent energy. So like if you continue to do that, you'll continue to grow and learn and be inspired continuously. So
I appreciate that, man. And that's something I'm just just learning, like I was looking on my YouTube and I was like, man, the last time I released a video was 7 months ago. Wait a minute. That's not how it's supposed to go. You got to keep dropping. If you have a hit, the next thing I should be thinking is, okay, something to come right next, right then. That way, boom, it's like and you can still share both of them at the same time, but that way you're steady keeping that momentum. And that's something that I'm just learning. But one thing about me, once I learn something, it's a wrap, man. I ain't gonna forget it. I ain't gonna forget it. It's on.
Man, and you definitely learn when you make some mistakes.
What?
That's all I get it.
Oh, man, what?
That's a whole. I got paid episode dropping on that one.
If I got paid for the mistakes I made, boy, I'm telling you, man, Bill Gates better watch out. Boy, shoot, man. Telling you, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna say that for later. Y'all gonna hear that in another episode. But,
another episode. Stay tuned for that.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, man,
mistakes
that's cool.
that made him money. Straight up,
hey,
man.
I like the title. I like the title. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Straight up, you got it. You got it, bro. You got it. Man.
The BBC reports a U.S. workers' online study said that nearly 70% agreed public speaking skills are critical for success at work. Maybe you are a student looking to become a prime candidate for that internship, or might I say full-time position, or maybe you have already been in the job market for some time now and you just want to stand out amongst your coworkers looking to get that raise you feel like you've been passed up for too long now. Go to speakyourlife.com/private-lessons. That's speakyourlyfe.com/private-lessons. Again, that's speakyourlyfe.com/private-lessons to become a better communicator tomorrow by signing up today. But yeah, so like, you know, I wanted to ask you, because like, you know, just, you know, keeping it really real right now.
Yeah, straight up.
Just as a Christian artist, and you know, being accepting and being okay with that label, because I know sometimes like, oh no, don't call me a Christian artist, like, but like, no, it's okay that you're accepting, that you're embracing it. How do you go into like an environment like a club or just whatever and maintain that integrity and maintain that, like, maintaining you, like, in the midst of, you know, environments or different people, like? Yeah,
I think that's kind of why I feel like I as much as, you know, I would like to say, man, you know, I just feel like I think I have to be that guy to show how it can be done, because, you know, as much as we want to say it, you know, Christians, we try to separate ourselves from the world. Like, we don't do that, but we're so connected with the world. You know, now you catch some pastors, now they're quoting some of our favorite artists on the pulpit, or they're quoting these different sports teams, you know, different football games, basketball. We're so connected with it. And so I think we try to make it like we're so separate, and then it makes it like we're like these robots or these alien type people. That's nah, man, this is my daddy place. This is my daddy created this for me. I'm gonna go wherever I want to go, and I'm gonna take dominion over wherever I go. Simple as that. And so for me, I think it would be just going in authority that God gave me, and going in love, most importantly, and just being me. You know, I'm not trying to lay hands and baptize nobody. I'm not trying to save nobody. I can't save nobody. Only Jesus can save somebody. All I'm gonna go is do me. And if somebody gets inspired to find their God-given purpose from seeing my life, then glory to God. If they just say, man, hey, I heard your music and it made me feel really good, glory to God. But I'm not going with the mindset to be anybody's savior. Jesus already did it. I'm not the savior. Definitely. I'm just an artist that's looking to always, you know, find a way to give God glory because of what he brought me from. Definitely. That's my connection and promise with him that was really between me and him, and I'm just allowing the world to see in on that. You know what I'm saying? So I think so for me, you know, hey, you know, when say you're a Christian artist, that's cool. I'm gonna be in the club, I'm gonna be at a church, I'll be at a college, I'll be at wherever I'm being sent to do what I do, I'm gonna do it. And I think it's like, that's one of the things that I notice a lot of artists are having problems with, because you know, Christian artists or Christian rappers or people are just maybe it's just the stigma of those boundaries can try to limit you, and sometimes that limits us, you know. But yet they'll say you can't go here, but they working at a secular job. As a bartender. Are you working at a secular company? He's atheist, but you're working for him, dedicating 8 hours of your day, 40 hours of your week. Get out of here, you know. So, and I'm realizing it's just a big misunderstanding of not really having wisdom of how God he sends us into these places for a reason. He sent Moses to Pharaoh for a reason. He sent Joseph, and Pharaoh blessed Joseph. Pharaoh was not a worshiper of God, you know, of the God that we serve, you know, the God of Israel. He wasn't, but Joseph sent Joseph there. So what that's starting to show me is I'm really breaking out of that mindset. It's like just a messed up mindset that has really limited myself as an artist, because we feel like we can't do this or we can't do that because of just these ideologies that have been, you know, rippled down for so long, you know. And I think the main thing for me to always remember is I'm not nobody's savior. Jesus is the savior. No man is good enough. From David to even as good as Moses was, he failed. He broke the rock. He failed. We still had to have Jesus. And so what I had to realize is that it's not about me. It's about him. It's already done. It's already done.
Definitely.
It's already done.
Wow.
It's already done.
And so that's why,
that gives you freedom. And that gives you peace. So then, because I think with humanity, we always want to put somebody like up as this guy. You know what I'm saying? So then we can like poke them down. It's not. This, you know what I mean? And I think that's the key to really realizing, like, it ain't about me. It's all about him. You know, I'm just a puzzle he's using for his bigger piece. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good to maintain a basis, like a accountability group or whatever,
without
like
a
that,
doubt,
because
man. Advisors for sure.
Because whenever you're in a place or environment where it tests your integrity and tests your what you're about, your character, you have to be at the sinner's table, wherever the quote unquote sinner,
come on,
Jesus ate at the sinner's table, but like you have to because like people are not gonna see who you are. They're not going to see who Christ is.
No.
Maybe they don't even open up a Bible, but you're the 67th book.
Exactly.
So they're like, oh, wow, this guy's life is like, he's different. Something's different about this guy. I don't know what it is,
people
but
can feel the
inside,
energy too. Yeah.
So, that's good that you got, you got that group, you got that basis. So.
Yeah, man. And then I think it's just integrity, It's just character, like it's just having good character. It's just, you're thinking about, when you go somewhere or what you do, who's watching, who's looking. I think even artists of today, they still have to think like that, because of the fact of who they are and what they do, as influencers. And so I think it's just having integrity and character, because I love myself first. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to treat myself in a way that's predicated on, how I love myself, how I treat myself. And because I know that God created me, what I mean? I'm going to make sure to handle myself well too,
Definitely.
So I think that's so important, bro.
And so what would you say that your why, your purpose is?
My why? Man, so my why, in the beginning, my why was different. My why was like, man, I wanna get the whole world saved. That was my mission. Like, boom, I want to get everybody saved. And of course, I want people to be saved, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is now to inspire people to find their purpose, to find their why. I think that's why I enjoy teaching, because even though I was a teacher and I couldn't talk about God and stuff, I enjoyed it, because I was finding cues and ways to let my light shine, to where I was helping these students find their why. Why they do what they do, why they want to be a mechanic, why they want to be a veterinarian, and that right there to me is life-changing, because once a person finds their purpose, they're not just, I know people that save and they still sitting on the side of the street, homeless, not doing nothing, but they're stagnant. But what I realize is when a person finds their purpose and what God created them to be, now they're working and they have a momentum and they're working alongside with God, with what He created them for. So every day they're giving them worship through their work. Some people might catch that on another, when they listen, rewind that. But when you find your purpose, you're working hand in hand with God. And so you're worshiping through what you do. Maybe it's a person who's a let's say a brick maker, right, or a carpenter, or a brick maker, and they go and build houses. Well, when they build these houses, that God, He put that in them to give them these designs of how to design a house and how to make it feel so homey. When they build that for the people that God gave them that gift, they're giving God glory through that work. So while they building even the smaller parts of it and just the frames, God is getting glory through that, and they're working alongside with God. And so I feel like when a person finds their purpose, it takes them on a deeper level and another connection of how they can work and partner with God, and not just like, okay, God, you saved me and I'm just sitting here waiting, like, what do I do next?
Waiting to go to heaven,
waiting to go to glory. It's like, okay, nah, I want you to live here, heaven here on earth as well. And so I think that is now my focus, and that wasn't always my focus before. That wasn't my purpose before. Before I thought it was more that. So it made it so different in my music and a lot of things, and so now I believe I changed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just at a place where I'm like, nah, I want to help people find their purpose, and I don't want to ever feel like I'm being forceful or aggressive for people to be saved. I want people to if that's something they want to do in their heart, do it. But even if they don't, they have that free will to not want to do it. I don't want to feel like being that guy that's to like point the finger and tell people what they're doing wrong or your lifestyle and who you choose to love is wrong. I don't want to be that guy. That's not the title I want to have. Leave it for somebody else. Not me. I'd rather be the person to say, hey, man, you were created with a purpose. What is that? Oh, are you Christian or are you no? All of that. Let's throw that out. Let's throw that behind. Let's talk about us right now. You were created with a purpose. What do you feel you were created to do? Because you didn't create yourself. Okay. And so we start from there. And my mama did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Right. Yeah. My mama did. My mom and daddy did. Where your daddy at? I don't know him exactly. God, your daddy. But no. I definitely would like to just inspire people to find their purpose, and I think it gives me a lot more breathing room too as an artist to be able to travel in these different worlds and still be true to me, and I think people like that I see like D1. I don't know if you know D1.
No, I haven't.
You should check him out. Okay, D1, he does a really good job at his movement. You know him, Jake? D1, he does a really good job at kind of moving in all these different worlds. I mean, he connect with Master P. He done connected with ministers. He done connected with high school students, college students, rappers. Wow. I mean, Jay-Z. I mean, from all in between. But he's still true to him. But he's not. He's not like caged in. He's free. And I think that is the most important thing. That's like what we were talking about earlier. Like for me, my goal is to be free. And anytime I feel like somebody is trying to take my freedom, even if it's to do wrong, I'm gonna fight for it. Because I've always been a fighter. So if I would be the guy to fight for the good, I'll be the guy to fight for like, nah, I'm gonna be free. This is my free choice to do what I want to do. And I think when people have that kind of space, they become better people. You think about a kid who grows up with their parents telling them they can't do this, they can't do that. The minute they go to college, they wild out.
Buck wild, and
man. I've seen so many kids, but thankfully my mom was nothing like that. So for me, I didn't have to drop out of college the second semester or third semester because I never had freedom in my life. My mom always gave me freedom. So for me, it was like, okay, I knew my balance. But just imagine, when a group of people start doing that to humans that were created, man, they eventually they can fake it for a while, or they'll lead them into a depression, or they'll fight back, and they'll go all the way overboard, And I think just having that freedom of choice is so important. That's something that God gave us, and I want to honor that. Even Adam and Eve, God, He's supreme, He's sovereign. He could have said, I'm gonna make everybody like, well, why didn't he just move the tree and not have that tree? If he knew, God knew they were gonna do it, why would he do that? I don't understand. He should have. Well, then that means he creates robots. He doesn't create robots. The church may try to create robots. Christian rappers may create robots, but God didn't create robots. And I think that's something that I've learned is that He gave us free will, and when we realize that, God wants us to choose to make that choice of Him. And so I never want to be that guy to feel like I'm, like, oh, he trying to, nah, man, it's your free choice to do what you want to do. With mine, I already know, maybe in my heart what I'm going to do with mine. And it's working well for me, And so I think that's what I would like people to see, and find their purpose and have fun with it, and enjoy it. Like seeing you doing what you're doing, that's what excited me more about doing this interview. On a Friday, I could have been doing anything, but I was like, the fact that he's moving and his God-given purpose, I'm gonna make that time to do this interview because that means so much to me because you're partnering with God in what you do, and what you do, because that's the way we partner and work with Him. So
that's real, man. I appreciate it. That's love.
For sure.
All right, so if life is like a house and you have your foundational, pieces that's so important. What would you say is one thing that's a foundational piece of your house? If life is like a house,
the foundational piece. Oh, the foundation is definitely gonna be God. Definitely will have to be God, my faith, my peace in Him. You know, if it would be the name, it would be God. If it was like, say if it was two pinnacles, say if it was two bricks that held the house together, one would be God, one would be peace, and then probably the one in the middle would be balance. So it would be peace, God, and then balance. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, and I'm just kind of freestyling out the top from the question, but
yeah. I know it's a very deep question.
Yeah, but it would definitely be in the midst of that for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. Man, that's
because without peace you can't do much of anything, you know. Without God you can't do anything. You can try, but it's really hard. Yeah. You know, and you know, I believe, you know, also, you know, God is the God of peace, but He's not just peace. He's more than just that, you know. And then without balance between these, then two, you can lose yourself too, you know. And I think that would be my 3.
Yeah, that's good.
To build a house, yeah,
because there's so many people, they're yearning after something, they're seeking after something, but they don't know what that is. But innately, it's God, but they just don't know it. It's like, you know, whether it's money, cars, clothes, women, I don't know, whatever it is, it's something we're yearning after something. There's we always have that void in our heart as human beings. So
without a doubt, and that's one of the things I feel like I can kind of pat myself on the back for, is like to be able to say, you know, even in the midst of maybe I'm not where I want to be musically yet as far as the status of the quote unquote success of what the world would say, I would say, but I'm very grateful that I got the most important part, that maybe somebody that's at that pinnacle, but they haven't got a chance to get God yet. Yeah. You know? And so it's like, okay, some people may got the success and, you know, this, the fame, the opportunities, the doors, the shows, the record deal, but they haven't met God yet. Whereas I've got God now in my heart, and now I know who He is. So now it's only up from here, you know? It's only up from here. So I say to that person, you know, that's the most important you know, part that we need to have, is having Him in our hearts as our anchor. So then when everything else comes, we don't have to go through all of this stuff. And, you know, so many artists that are losing their lives because that missing part. Yeah. So they pursued it and they got that, but they were missing that because it felt like this was more important than that. And we realized it wasn't. Yeah. The most important thing, we already got it. You know, if once you have God, you have it, you know. And so I thank the Lord for that, because now, you know, like I was telling you, when I seen that out of body experience, I don't know what other way to say it. Like I just felt like it was so amazing. Like it's just like it's happening now. It's happening now, and so I'm just grateful for now. You know, I get to wake up and do what I love to do. I used to have to wake up and, you know, get up at 5, 6 in the morning, and I still get up pretty early now, but I used to have to wake up. I used to get anxiety because I had to go rush and be at bus duty at this time, put on a button-up shirt and a suit and do this, that, and that just used to make me feel so, you know, like, and now when I get up, I'm on my own mission, you know, I'm on like what I'm on my own mission. Okay, what I'm gonna do today? Okay, I got this, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm just going hard in the paint for what I feel in my heart and my purpose, you know. Yeah. And that is it's
priceless.
It's priceless, bro. Yeah. It's priceless. Yeah. It's priceless.
Man, that's awesome. And so the last segment of this podcast, we just have the question of the day. It's a little bit lighter, you know. We talked about purpose. We got in the deep end. We're gonna swim onto the surface level of the pool now. Come on. So I'm assuming you've been to the Texas State Fair, right? In Dallas.
In Dallas, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I haven't. No.
Okay. Nah. So like, you know, I haven't either, but like I always hear about like in Dallas they always have the, you know, the annual Texas State Fair, and if you were to have like fried anything, like if it could be the most exotic food ever, what would it be and why?
Fried anything.
Yeah, they have like fried butter, they have like fried cheesecake, they have like all these. Yeah.
Like the rodeo. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I would say fried.
Because we from the South, you know, everything's fried down here.
Everything is fried. I know. I've been trying to get away from fried food, man. I'm trying, you know. Yeah. I'm 33, man. I'm trying to stay looking. I'm trying to keep glowing. You know? No, I'm trying to think. Man, fried.
It could be a vegetable, a fruit. It could be, I don't know. Some people have fried butter. I don't know.
Fried butter, man. I would probably say fried sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, okay.
Yeah. Fried sweet potatoes.
That sounds like sweet potato fries.
Sweet potato fry. That'll be as far as I'm going to go. That's it. Sweet potato fry. That's about as far as I'm going to go right there. With a little, I don't even think I'm
my blood pressure can't take anymore.
That's it. That's about far. My mind can't even let me go there. That's how far I got for fries.
Man, that's funny. That works. But man, thank you so much for being on this show. I really appreciate it.
Man, no doubt, man. I'm excited, man. Man, shout out to ATL. I know people from Atlanta are going to be listening in, so
definitely,
y'all make sure to just tune in and follow me. I Am Justified Music on all streaming sites. Add me to your playlist. One of ATL's own as well, you know. And so special shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Anybody that's listening to this point right now to the end, thank you for listening all the way through, and I just say, man, whatever that thing is in your heart, search and find it and follow it like your life depended on it, because at the end of the day it's priceless, as we're sitting here talking, I'm seeing him walking what he was created to do, and it brings him joy. And I was just in your same shoes. Like I was teaching and I was rapping, so I was teaching and rapping for about 5-6 years, and so I was I'm doing something that I like, teaching was cool, I liked it, but I love rapping, and so I would have to realize the balance of I can't just stop teaching, and you know what I'm saying, because I won't be able to support what I love, and I had to learn the balance and have peace in the midst of that to be working them both until it was time to take flight and leap. And now, man, I'm so glad that I was able to do it, but it wasn't something that I just did like sporadic and just like boom, dropping everything, I'm done. It was something that was calculated, and it took time and processed, So to that person, man, just continue to push towards your dreams, find whatever it is in your heart. And people may not understand it, people may not know how or what it is that you're going to do, but you know what it is inside your heart. So just keep pulling at it and start working at it. Don't be a perfectionist. Just start doing it. Just start doing it and learn as you grow and build as you grow. As you continue to create, you just start, growing and creating as you continue to go. And I think that is going to be what's going to help you elevate to the level that you want to go, and as far as you can see yourself. Like for me, I'm already seeing myself, man. One day I'm gonna be able to say I'm the greatest artist of all time, period. And that's the mindset I'm having. Like I used to kind of have this mindset like, too humble, and God called us to be humble, but he also called us to have confidence, that kind of God, that confidence that he put on the inside of us to just believe for greatness. And so keep believing for greatness, keep chasing towards your dreams, and know that if you don't give up, it gotta come to pass. It gotta happen. Gotta happen.
Man, that's crazy. I feel like you just dropped a little bonus track on this podcast. Boom! Real quick.
I know I'm gonna have to listen back to it and add it to the track list. Yeah, I'm about to add it to the track list. For real.
Yeah. Man, that's what's up.
Jordan over there thinking like we might have to put that together.
Man, well, all right, guys. Thanks again for joining, and be sure to follow I Am Justified. That's on Instagram at I Am Justified. Again, that's I Am Justified.
Music.
So, and that's on Instagram, and you can follow on Twitter or wherever. And also subscribe to the Speak Your Life podcast. We again thank you for joining us on this episode today, and we would love to hear your feedback from today's episode. Anything you'd like to say, any comments, we'd love to hear your shout outs. Anyways, we'll see you next time, and have a great day.
Peace out.